As a senior golfer, yes, I'm in that category. I have been for a little while actually. I want to find a swing that's going to enable me to have sufficient power that I can play some good golf, but I don't want a swing that's going to put a massive stress on my body. But one of the key things that we'll all lose is the ability to move quickly. Our reflex is slow. So how is it that we can try and find some way of still getting some reasonable amount of power other than by buying the latest driver? Hi, I'm Peter Knight, and I've created this channel, Peter Knight Golf, to help you play the best golf you can. Today we're going to look specifically at the senior golfer and what they can do to help with their motion. Now, aside from the expected things like, yes, keep your body in shape, try and do some training other than on the golf course, other than hitting golf balls. So retain your mobility, especially retain your balance, because we'll also lose that as we start to age a little bit. Golf does require quite a lot of balance, dynamic balance, so as you're moving back and through, you need to be able to monitor that. Now, if you find when you're playing your shots that your balance is challenged, so you're swinging back and your balance is going onto your toes or onto your heels, you might want to consider having some coaching just to determine whether or not that's something in the golf swing that's challenging it. It could be a technical thing. It could also be that you need to do some specific balance training. So things like even yoga poses or Pilates, or if you're in the gym and you're doing weights, very light weights, you can ask your trainer to give you exercises that are going to specifically target your balance. So that's the first thing. We need to retain good balance and need to retain good mobility. The next thing, if we have a look at what we're doing here with the golf, the key thing is I need to have sufficient range of motion. Now, let's say I swing the club back, and this is about my range of motion. I feel like I can't really turn my body more than that. So as I go back, my hips have turned about maybe 30 degrees, and my upper body's turned about maybe 70 degrees here. And I feel like that's the extent. After that, it gets all a little bit too hard, a little bit too stressful on my body to go further. So one way that I can start to create a bigger range of motion is to modify how I'm standing. Now, if I set myself up and I rotate 1 foot out, all of a sudden that's going to create less stress through my right hip here. So if I turn my right foot out, that creates less stress through my right hip. Same as if I turn my foot in, I start to turn back, that creates more stress. I haven't got the range of motion. So with my right foot, I can turn that out a little bit. So first thing I can do by rotating that out, that allows my body to rotate more with less stress through my hip, and that'll allow my upper body to turn a little bit more as well. The second thing that I can do, which is going to further allow me to turn back a good amount, is not only will I rotate my right foot out, but I'll move it backwards a little bit. Now, I don't want to move it back too far, but moving it back a little bit, again, is going to encourage that bigger turn. And the final thing, and then again, this also comes back to my foot placement, is that if I set my feet square, now I'm going to move my right foot back, rotate it out. That's going to encourage my swing path, especially in the downswing, to move a little bit to the right of the target. Now, provided I can get the club face back to the ball squarely, if my swing path is moving slightly to the right, I'm actually hitting the ball with a little bit less effective loft. So the ball will come off the club face faster, and it'll generally go further. It may fly a little bit lower. The other thing it'll do is it's likely, if I'm successful with that movement, that the ball will shape from right to left in the air. That also is going to give me more power. And again, that's because my club face is slightly close to its path, and that's what reduces the effective loft. So now if I put these things together, I'll set myself up, drop my right foot back, and rotate it out a little bit, and then have the feeling that that's going to give me, oh, a nice little draw shape. So by increasing my range of motion in the backswing, I am perhaps perhaps somewhat restricting it a little bit, or I'm not really addressing anything in the downswing, I'm not too concerned about that, because once, all I've got to do is get the club back to the ball. If I feel like my follow through is not extended as well, then I'm not too concerned about that. Now you might think, what if I turn both feet out a lot more? Well, if I turn both feet out, if I turn my left foot out as I go back, now it's a lot harder for me to get that rotation through the left hip. So I'm actually going to restrict my movement. So my left foot can stay turned out just a fraction, because that's going to assist me with balance. And then from there, I've got the right foot turned out, and that's going to be the key to me being able to turn further in the backswing. Don't worry about the follow through, and you'll hit really good shots. Maybe you'll hit some little draws and gain a bit extra yardage both through the air and along the ground.